Hey guys, so I'm faking it a little bit today. So this is for, what is this? This is for Thursday, March 26th. You might be looking around, you might be going, it doesn't really look like it's nighttime. And the reason is I'm actually taping this Friday, March 27th in the morning at about 8 o'clock. And the reason is because yesterday was a horribly rainy day. And literally when I went to go out and do my vlog yesterday, it was just pouring rain. Pouring wasn't the right word for the kind of rain. Like, we've been having rain lately, and misty rain, and rain, and hard rain, and then last night it was sheets of rain coming down. Just one of those types of rain where even if you're under shelter, you get under some kind of shelter, the rain still comes in because it's coming down so hard. So that was the kind of rain we were having last night. So I think you can understand why I didn't get around to the vlog yesterday. It was just, oh my golly, it was one of those sad days. It was a sad day. I can't wait until we get a really nice set of days. Until it is nice, and sunny, and dry. That'll be so great. Because even now you're sitting there and you're looking at the weather behind me and you're going, wow, Eli, that looks like great weather. And it is right this second. But apparently in a couple hours, more storms are moving in. So this whole week and a half, well, almost 2 weeks, we've been doing this trip. It has just been cold or rainy. I can't wait till it gets warm and sunny again. That will be so beautiful. Because you don't understand until you've been in a travel trailer for a little while, especially a small travel trailer. See, the thing is with a small travel trailer, you don't really have real HVAC. Heating and cooling like you do in a normal house. You just have this stupid crappy little air conditioner and a little electric heater or a propane heater, and that's it. And the issue is there's all these things you don't think about when you live in a normal house. And one of the things in a normal house is your HVAC system generally does some dehumidification, so it takes moisture out of the air. So the issue is here, since it's been cold and it's been rainy all the time, is that you go into our little travel trailer and it's so moist that there's droplets of water literally on the wall. So on all of the frames for the windows and the doors and all that, there's droplets of water just because it's getting so humid and wet. Yesterday it got up to about 78 degrees, so we were able to turn on the air conditioner, and so that pulled some of the water out of the air. But it's still, I want this kind of weather. I want this kind of weather just for a couple of days in a row. If we could do that, that would be wonderful. That would be great. But it's not really working out that way. So yesterday when we started the day, it wasn't too bad. It was this foggy rain that they seem to be getting down a lot around here, where it's not quite fog, it's not quite rain, it's something in the middle. But it wasn't too bad. It was about 66 degrees in the foggy rain. So I thought, okay, that sounds pretty good. And so we did all of our stuff and we got everything together. We decided to go over to Amelia Island. So Amelia Island is an island around here that's been popular for a long time, so we decided to go over there. We drove over there, and it was this foggy rain, so we're like, okay, this isn't too bad. Not what you would consider a normal beach day, but we're adventurers now. So we can go out and this kind of stuff. Oh my golly, we drove all the way out there, so it took like 45 minutes to get out there. That's how we got out there. Rain was just pouring down. So we got out there and it was about lunchtime, so we take our lunch and we go under, there's a picnic shelter, and just sitting there in the picnic shelter at a picnic table, I was eating my little peanut butter sandwich, like looking at my wife as she was eating her fruit, going, this is not fun. So it was raining for a while, and so finally the rain stopped for a bit, and we wandered along the beach there. And then it got nice. Then it started to get nice out of like nowhere. So we decided to go down to there's Amelia Island State Park, which is near the tip of Amelia Island. And we went down there and we decided to walk along the beach right there. And that was very, 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 very nice. So the sun came out a bit. The sun was out for a while. It was was warm. It was nice. We had like 3 hours of nice weather. Woo! Thankfully, while we were there, so we got to walk along the beach and see all the stuff around there. One of the cool things in the Florida area is most of these beaches you can drive on. So if you have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, you can simply go onto the beach and drive to wherever you want. So you see a lot of people going out there to fish or going out there to to picnic or any of that kind of stuff. So we just walked along the coast of the beach and saw everything going on. We saw the different birds flying around. Got to just being in the sun. Being in the sun for that tiny little amount of time was so wonderful. So we walked along, and then we walked up, and then we walked back. So one of the things we're noticing with a lot of these state parks down here in Florida, there's not always a lot of walking trails. So because they're conservation areas, or they're worried about different animals getting crushed or scared away, you can only walk along the beach or very specific designated areas. So we could only walk along the beach, and then we took this one Jeep trail back that cut across the beach this way. But otherwise, it was very, very nice. So we did that, and then we came back. And I had some bacon cheese fries last night. That was great. As you guys know, my wife is the oil-free, sugar-free, vegan, or plant-based. And we came home last night. And we've been doing a lot of exercise lately. So I've been walking at least 10 miles a day. And so came home last night, or came back here, and I just looked at my wife. I want a burger. I want a burger, and I want fries. So I went out and had my burger. They have bacon and cheese fries here, absolutely wonderful. And literally, you can tell when you start to get exercise hungry, when you want more of a food than you would normally want. And so it was interesting last night, because I ordered my burger, I ordered my fries, I got them, and then I got done with it, and then I was still hungry. I was like, I need some more bacon cheese fries, and ordered myself another set of bacon cheese fries, and that was just a beautiful thing. So that was the day yesterday. Amelia Island State Park, definitely give that a nice little thumbs up. That's a nice little place to go to as far as the rest of the weather and all that's concerned. I think today we're gonna go to the art museum, because again, I know it looks beautiful right now, but it's gonna get crappy later in the day. So apparently there's a really cool art museum here in Jacksonville. So we're gonna go into the city today and go to the art museum. Now with this whole travel trip, generally I'm trying to skip the cities. I feel like we've done cities quite a bit. Living in a city for a while, or living around a city, and then over the last number of years, whenever we do vacations, we always do them to cities. So overall, kind of trying to skip the cities, at least for the beginning of this trip. But when the weather keeps getting crappy and keeps getting rainy, I figure it is better to go into an art museum and have a decent time in an art museum during the rain, rather than be mucking around and God knows what with the kind of rain they've been having. Because it's hard rain. Again, last night, it wasn't just rain. It wasn't rain where you put a raincoat on and you're okay. It was a type of rain last night that was pouring so hard, even if you have a raincoat on, you're still getting wet, because the rain is just coming in every crack it can find. So yeah, rain. Tomorrow should be better. Tomorrow and Sunday, theoretically, we should be having clear days. So that will be nice. On the other front, some of the philosophical things going on, something for you guys to think about, is we had an interesting experience with our neighbor here at the RV park yesterday. So we have a nice elderly neighbor, one of these big, massive RVs. He's one of these funny guys. So we pull up in our travel trailer, and we're setting it up, and then he comes out, starts talking to us the first day, and then he says, "How much do you think this thing cost?" And so I'm looking at this huge bus of an RV. I don't know what the hell to say. I'm like, I don't know, $110,000. He's like, ha ha ha, I spent $264,000 on this. And you're like, wow, that's an expensive RV. So he has this massive RV, but he's a really, really nice guy. And this is all he does. He retired and is living off of his pension and travels around with his wife, I guess 365 days a year in the RV. But it was funny yesterday because I was sitting there in the morning trying to drink my coffee, trying to wake up, because I was in a crappy mood. The 6th or 7th day of rain and cold is when Eli starts to get into a cranky mood. So I was trying to wake up yesterday morning, and drinking my coffee, and I'm just sitting out on the little area in front of the travel trailer. And so the guy comes up, and we had talked before, and he said, "Hey man, I see you have bikes on your SUV, your car. I see you and your wife like to bicycle." And I look at him, I'm drinking my coffee, I kind of just stare at him, stare at the bikes, and go, yeah, we like to bike. And so he says, you know, there's this great bicycle trail around here. You guys really should go on. You should really go on. If you go on the interstate and you go a couple of exits down, and you take a right here and you take a left here, you'll find this bike trail, and it goes for like 20 miles. It's a great little bike trail. You guys should go on it. So I look at him, kind of drinking my coffee. Okay, thank you. Right? And so he goes into his RV, and I'm still sitting there drinking my coffee, trying to get into a decent mindset, right? It's all about the mindset. If you can get into a good mindset, the rest of the day goes well. So I'm trying to get myself into a good mindset, drinking my coffee. He comes out 3 minutes later. I got off the phone with my brother. I looked at him, drinking my coffee. Okay. And so I was talking to him about this because I want to make sure. So what you have to do, and he goes and he gives me all the specific instructions. It's 16 miles in length, and it's this and that and the other. So he went in, literally called his brother to make sure he had the information to come out and give to me that I hadn't asked for. So I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. And then he looks at me and says, you know, I bet if you go up to the main office, I bet you have some information up there. You could probably get some information from them. So I look at him and go, yeah, I'm sure if I go to the main office, I can do that. Yeah, thank you, thank you very much. Again, you always be polite to people, right? You always be polite. People are offering help, be polite. Thank you. He goes, well, I'm drinking my coffee. It's like 10 minutes later. I'm finally getting my head somewhere around to where I want to do something for the day. He's in a car and he pulls up and he comes by the RV thing and he like honks a little bit. I look over and he goes, hey. I was like, yes? And so he leans out his window and goes, okay, so I went to the RV office and they do have information about that trail. So he then hands me like these pieces of paper, and it has all the information for the trail on it. It has how long it is, where it is, the whole 9 yards. I'm sitting there like, okay, thank you. Thank you very much for this. This is very, very generous. Oh yeah, he starts talking. Okay. So I take it into my wife. He's still talking about the bike trail. Look, he gave us paperwork on the bike trail. So we put it down, and we go off. We do our thing. Then we come back, and it was funny because we come back, and literally we drive in. We get out. We're going into the RV. I'm trying to make my coffee so I can wake up after this cold, rainy day. And he comes out of his RV and he's like, "So, did you guys go on the bike trail?" I'm like, no, I did not go on the bike trail. We will go on the bike trail maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. Hold your horses, right? And so he sits there and talks and gives more advice, right? And I'm just sitting there kind of losing my mind in a slow way. And finally he goes off into his RV, and I go in and talk to my wife. And I was talking to my wife about it, and I was just like, oh, he's driving me out of my mind. And she says, but he's being so helpful. He's being so nice and kind and offering all these things. And I told her, I said, yeah, but I don't know how to disengage myself from these situations. Because what I have found in life is that people are actually very incredibly helpful. My problem, I talk about this on my other channel, I most likely have something called Asperger's syndrome, where I don't in fact interact with people the way you're supposed to interact with people. And so one of the problems that I have is the ability to disengage people without them thinking I'm a complete a-hole. I can disengage from conversations, but it usually goes poorly. Right? I just, like, how I do things, it's not considered polite. And so one of the issues I have in life is being able to disengage from conversation, from communication, when I care about not insulting the person. So like this guy was at the end of it really about to drive me out of my mind. But he was very nice. I mean, he was trying to offer help. He was trying to offer support. He was trying to offer all those things in a very nice way. I just didn't know how to disengage him and like drink my damn cup of coffee. So the problem that I ran into in that situation is I want to disengage a person, but I also don't want to insult a person. So what do I do there? Again, if I want to disengage with somebody and I don't care about insulting them, well, I do whatever the hell I want to do, right? But I was thinking about that last night, and I was thinking about that with a lot of the viewers that I have that watch my different videos. And one of the things that I've talked about in the past is that I have found, by and large, most people are incredibly helpful. Most people I have found are willing to provide far more help than I have any interest in ever accepting. So you hear a lot of people talk about the modern world, and I always talk about how horrible people are and how evil people are and how people are just in it for themselves. And what's funny is when I walk around the world, what I find is more or less the opposite. I'm not saying that a lot of people out there aren't in it for themselves, but what I find is most people I run into are actually incredibly helpful and almost pushy on the helpfulness, like take this. And that's one of the reasons I've been successful and been able to do so many things in my life is because people constantly give me these things, such as bike routes. and you have to think about that. I mean, this guy, literally, he saw that I had a bike. He thought I might want to do a bike route. He talked to me about it. After that, he then went in to call his brother to verify where the bike route was, then came out and tell me about it. He then went to the office to ask them for information, came back, gave me all that information, literally without me asking for anything. And that is the type of thing that I find in the world. So when people talk about how they think that everybody in the world is out for themselves, when people say that everybody in the world is greedy, and again, just in it for not trying to be helpful, what I find is that is not how, in fact, I see the world. It really, genuinely, truly is not the world I live in. The world I live in is where I'm getting annoyed because people are trying to give me too much. And so one of the things I would have you guys think about is you should always be honest with yourself, what your failings are in life. And so one of my failings in life is my ability to disengage people without being rude. Again, I can disengage people, but it's generally rude. And so one of the issues is when people are nice to me, when people are polite to me, I don't know how to disengage them, and so they end up giving me more than I even want, simply because I don't know how to politely extricate myself out of that situation. And so what I have found in life then, because I do not extricate myself out of situations where people are giving me things, then I then get a plethora of stuff. So what I would have you guys think about is that if you see the world as people are greedy and in it for themselves and all that kind of stuff, one of the questions that I would have you think about is, are you extricating yourself out of situations where people are willing to give you things? Right? So I just sit there doing my thing, drinking my cup of coffee, not even really trying to be nice to anybody in the world, and people are doing stuff for me. And so one of the things you maybe think about, when you're interacting with people in the world, are you constantly pushing them away? That's a big thing that I've seen with a lot of people, where they talk about how horrible the world is, and yet they're constantly pushing everybody away. If you try to come to help them, I don't want this, I don't want you, get away from me, go away, I will be rude, I will be crude, I don't want, they shut people down. And then they talk about how nobody's helpful. That's like, well, that person was going to be helpful, and then you basically called him a dick. That person was going to be helpful, but then you gave him the evil eye. That person was going to be helpful, but then you turned your back and walked away. That person was going to be helpful, but then I'm not even really sure what the hell you did to them, right? And so that's something to think of. What is your interaction with the world? And is your viewpoint of the world really just an embodiment of how you're interacting with it? Something to think about. Because again, I mean, like last night, that situation was a perfect example of kind of how my life is, where I have these people like, here, take this. I'm like, you're driving me out of my mind. Go away. I didn't ask. But yeah, days in the RV park. Oh my God, this is beautiful. This is nice. Too bad it's not gonna last. We'll just wrap up today with one of the questions that somebody has asked me. The question is, do I now plan to get my own RV? So we've been in this travel trailer for almost 2 weeks now, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And so the question is, are we ready to upgrade to the full-fledged RV? And I have to say no. And I'm going to answer this question here because I think it's a valuable thing if any of you guys are thinking about doing a trip like this yourself, is because I think RVs for the most part are a waste of money. So whenever you're talking about doing the kind of trip that I'm doing, there's two types of vehicles for doing this. You have RVs and then you have travel trailers. So RVs, recreational vehicles, are vehicles where the living accommodations and everything is built into the vehicle itself. So it's an actual drivable vehicle. Travel trailers is where you have a trailer, which is basically the house, that gets pulled behind another vehicle. There's also something called a fifth wheel, which is basically a travel trailer. So a lot of the question is, well, do you think we'll ever go out and buy an RV? And I say no, basically across the board. I'm not really sure why people buy RVs. The first issue, whenever you're dealing with an RV, is that they're really stupidly expensive, like foolishly expensive. So if you look at these RVs, I don't know, like an RV, like right there, if you can see that. Can you see that RV? That's an RV. But whenever you're looking at these RVs, the minimum cost of an RV is seriously, it's $100,000 to $110,000, and it goes up quick. Again, our neighbor has a $265,000 RV. Why that's important is because if you look at having a vehicle with a travel trailer, it is very hard to get anywhere near that price, right? Because if you're gonna go buy a vehicle, so our Ford Escape was like $32,000 fully loaded. But you can go out and buy a truck. You can buy a truck or an SUV that can haul a decent sized travel trailer for anywhere between $22,000 to $40,000. So even if you get a good one, let's say $40,000 for the vehicle that's going to haul the travel trailer. And then the travel trailers themselves aren't that expensive. So the one we bought was about $12,000. And it's a nice travel trailer. So even if we got a travel trailer 3 times the quality of the travel trailer we have now, it's only like $36,000. So realistically, we could have a really nice vehicle with a really nice travel trailer, all told for somewhere between $70,000 to $80,000. And that's with not really cutting a lot of corners. If you want to cut a lot of corners, if you want to buy a used vehicle, you can bring the price down. And the travel trailer, again, $36,000 is actually high for what we want. I'm betting probably like $26,000 to $27,000. We could get a nice one. I mean, that's, fully loaded, nice travel trailer. So again, you're looking between $70,000 to $80,000, or maybe down to somewhere between $50,000 to $80,000, and you have a nice setup. Versus with an RV, you're starting at $110,000. So the first point that comes up is price. Whether you buy a travel trailer or the RV, the price is just massively different. Then the other thing is with the RVs, the problem is your home is also your vehicle. So the question then becomes, what happens when you want to go to a state park? What happens when you want to go to the movies? What happens when you want to go grocery shopping? The whole 9 yards, right? Because when you have a travel trailer with a tow vehicle, you simply disconnect the tow vehicle and you have a normal vehicle. I mean, my Ford Escape is a normal Ford Escape. I can take it to normal places, right? So that's a thing. And a lot of people then, what they do is they then, if they have an RV, they tow a smaller vehicle behind it. So a lot of the people around here will have a car or they'll have a small SUV they tow behind the RV. But that then means you have to then, after you spend at least $110,000 for an RV, you now have to buy another vehicle to tow behind the RV, which just turns into an absolute mess. So as far as in fact buying an RV, no, I can't imagine why you would buy an RV. The only way that I would ever imagine buying an RV is if it was for like business purposes. Let's say I was in a band. Like any kind of those traveling entertainers. So if I was in a band or as a traveling entertainer, I went from city A to city B, I could see buying a used RV. So you could simply drive from city A to city B, you could play the show, you could go out, you could pass out for a few hours. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about setup or anything. Then you can simply drive to the next city, drive to the next city, drive to the next city, drive to this next city. But again, with that, I'm not going to be really worried about the grocery shopping. I'm not going to be worried about a lot of the touristy things. I'm just driving from point A to point B. So I think the only reason that I would ever buy an RV is simply for the for business purposes. If I literally had to travel from site A to site B to site C to site D, then I might buy an RV. Because the other thing is, there might be some thought where you say, well, Eli, wouldn't an RV be easier to set up than a travel trailer? And not really. So when you pull into your space, whether you've got an RV or travel trailer, there's a whole setup routine you have to do. You have to connect the water, you have to connect the electricity, you have to connect the sewer, you have to put down your jacks to stabilize the vehicle. And there's not a whole lot different between an RV and a travel trailer, frankly. Because it's probably about 90% the same. The RV, there's one or two things you don't have to do that you do have to do with the travel trailer, but you're talking about shaving about 3 minutes off the setup time. We're not talking about massive differences in setup. So yeah, no, we'll not be buying an RV just for a whole bunch of reasons. As far as will we get a nicer travel trailer in the future, I'd like that to happen. We'll see what the wife says. The wife is getting a bit adamant about this being a year trip. I'm traveling around, I'm doing this. I'm saying, right now it's rainy and crappy, but I really like this. And my wife is saying, a year. I agreed to a year. So we shall see, Since we did buy this and my Ford Escape is new, we will keep this whole setup for at least a year just to make sure it's well used, and we know what we want, honestly, if we buy something else in the future. If we do keep doing this beyond a year, I would like a little bit better than what we have. Honestly, I don't want a lot more. We don't have a lot of possessions with us now, so we don't need a lot of space. All the possessions that I have literally can basically fit in a backpack that I care about. It's kind of weird to be back to that point in my life, but really, I have a travel backpack with me right now, or a trekking pack, and all my possessions, my MacBook, my camera, my clothes could all fit into that. So we don't need a lot of space for like stuff. The one thing I would like to buy a bigger travel trailer, just for the two things of I would like a better bathroom. The bathroom in our travel trailer is just so small and cramped. It would be nice to have a real bathroom. Just be able to walk in, have a real, more normal looking toilet with a real shower where you just walk in the shower and have a shower, a hot water tank that is bigger than 6 gallons. That would be nice. And I would also like the bedroom to be separated off from the rest of the travel trailer. So right now, our bed literally kind of sticks into the rest of the room. So what I would like is they have the travel trailers where it's literally rooms. So you have a bedroom that has a little door on it, and then you have the living kitchen area, and then you have the bathroom. So I would like that, but that's not a lot bigger than what we have now. So we have they say it's a 19-foot. They say it's a 19-foot trailer. So I'm looking at a 25-foot trailer, so about 6 feet bigger than what we have now, which is really inexpensive. Again, you can get them for less than $20,000, the ones that I've been looking at. It should be pretty nice. The issue that we run into with that, and why we didn't get that in the beginning, is because then the weight of those is more than what we have now, and so I'd have to buy a different vehicle. So I have the Ford Escape, and the most the Ford Escape can tow is 3,500 pounds. So the travel trailer we have now is 2,800 pounds. Then you put stuff in it, right? Then you put your food in it. Then you put your clothes and all that kind of stuff. And so the most it can tow is 3,500 pounds. And so the issue is the type of travel trailer that I think would be best for us comes in at about 4,000 pounds. So we would need a vehicle that could tow about 5,000 pounds. And so that's the problem, is it's not simply replacing a travel trailer. At that point, it would be replacing the travel trailer and the vehicle, which is its own deal. And so, yeah, I've done well in life, but I don't really know if I really want to replace a vehicle and travel trailer all at the same time right at this second. So we will put that off for a while. So probably a year. What I would say is we'll take this around, have this for a year, figure out what my wife wants to do, where we're going next with the whole adventure and all that kind of stuff, and then go from there. Definitely not an RV. Definitely would be interested in a bigger travel trailer, but we'll all see how it goes. So anyways, with that, I think We have to go eat some breakfast because it's about, it's 8:45 right now. So we're gonna go see some museums today and enjoy the sun. I don't know if you can see, the clouds are already starting to move in. Since I started this video, the clouds are already starting to move in. So anyways, let me pack this up and go. But one of the things I want you guys to think about in all seriousness is, again, in my life is full of people always trying to give me stuff. Take this, take this, take this. And what I would argue, one of the reasons is because I don't know how to walk away from people. I don't know how to walk away from nice people. And so that might be just something for you to think about. If you're sitting there and you think the world is mean, you think people are greedy and all that kind of stuff, maybe you're just walking away from the nice people. Maybe people are trying to offer you things, but you're essentially giving them the middle finger. You're not really giving them the middle finger, but you know what I'm saying? You're not listening. When people talk to you, you ignore them. Or when people talk to you, you walk away. Or when people talk to you, you're kind of snarky or mean. Because again, I don't know. Everywhere I go, people just walk out. It's just the bizarrest thing. I'm just like, go away. Go away. Stop helping me, damn it. Random thought of the day. So with that, I will see you guys. I would say I'll see you guys tomorrow, but realistically, I'm gonna see you guys later today because this is yesterday's vlog. But anyways.